A very blessed morning to you, the GIC viewers and listeners within and beyond the borders of the Republic of Namibia, and a very warm welcome to your Wednesday morning edition of the Offices, Ministries and Agencies Information Sharing Session, coming to you live from the Government Information Center studio. For this morning's episode, I will be your host, Heleni Felipe Samunyela, and alongside my studio guest, we'll be keeping you company for the next hour or so. Now, this morning, I am joined in the studio by Mr. Nehemia Nshekwa, and he is the Chief Immigration in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration and Safety and Security. And he's here to help us dissect on the online application for the visa on arrival, Now, as is the norm, I'd like to pause here and extend a warm invitation to you, Namibia, to be part of this discussion by following this conversation on our social media platforms, where we are currently streaming this show live. On Facebook, we are at Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, or alternatively, you can stream us live on our YouTube channel, and our handle there is MICT Namibia. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please help me welcome officially to the Government Information Center my studio guest for this morning, Mr. Nehemia Nshekwa. Good morning, sir, once again, and welcome to the Government Information Center.
Good morning, Eleni. Good morning, Namibia.
All right. Now, Mr. Nshekwa, for the benefit of our viewers and listeners, briefly give us a background on how Namibia's visa on arrival policy was introduced.
Thank you so much, Eleni, for the question. Some of our viewers will remember that in 2019, the Ministry of Home Affairs launched the first ever visas on arrival. This was done in consideration of that Namibia has very limited representations in many of the countries where we source tourists. It was found as one of the ways to make Namibia, or to reshape the tourism industry and attract more people to Namibia as visitors and tourists.
Okay.
The policy, of course, allowed people from selected countries. Of course, we did a pilot. We don't just take everyone as they go. We needed to test whether the system will work. So it allowed people from selected countries to benefit from the visa on arrival.
Okay. Now, having said that, Mr. Nshekwa, where can travelers access the visa on arrival service in Namibia?
Thank you very much again for the question. And as we know, not all our ports of entry are at the same level in terms of development and in terms of facilities. So we did choose a number of them to be designated for applications for visa on arrival. These are the Hosea Kotako at Walvis Bay International Airport, Katima Mulilo Border Post, Ngoma, Imbalila Island, Trans-Kalahari, Oshikango, Mohembo, Ariams Flay, Nordover, and Oranjemund. These are the ports that were selected for visa on arrival simply because there are facilities for payments. People can pay in order to avoid that we have a lot of cash at some of these border posts, because there are no banks, but we have installed facilities, telecom facilities available for people to pay with credit cards.
Okay. Now, Mr. Nshekwa, here at the GIC, we pride ourselves, in informing the nation with the latest updates on policy formulations and advancement. Briefly share with us if there has been any recent policy pertaining to the visa on arrival requirements.
The requirements have not changed much. But what we did is re-engineer and checked with the countries that we give visa exemption and see whether they are giving Namibians the same benefit. Now, we have discovered that there were some that we exempted since 1991, but have not reciprocated.
Right. That means they have not given Namibians the same benefits that they are enjoying.
Exactly.
Okay.
They have not reciprocated, and thus we feel in order to have a balanced migration practices, we needed to impose visa regime to those that have not reciprocated. There are some that reciprocated, some did not.
Okay.
Last year, in May, we then drew up paperwork. We submitted to Cabinet a proposal to impose visa regime for those countries that continue to require Namibians to apply for visas. And some Namibians actually suffer because they need to travel to countries other than Namibia where they can apply for these visas, resulting in additional costs for them.
Okay.
And therefore, we got approval by Cabinet, and this is now the project we are implementing.
Okay. Now, Ms. Tangishakwa, I would like to find out from you. I think somewhere when the launch took place yesterday, there was mentioned about a particular 33 countries that have reciprocated or that that were part of the nations that could actually get a visa on arrival. I wanted to find out from you, when will this new visa requirements take effect? And also, what will the impact be for travelers from all these 33 nations that were highlighted?
Thank you, Eleni. The decision, of course, as per Cabinet directive, which we are implementing, takes effect from 1st of April 2025. That's in about 20-something days. What we have done is, yes, indeed, we want the nationals from these countries to still continue coming to Namibia. Thus, we have allowed them to visa on arrival, although they are not exempted from visa requirements. They needed to apply when they arrive.
Okay.
But we have also provided other options. There's an online application that is designed, which they can make use of in order to ensure that when they arrive, they have already a visa.
Okay.
They will get an electronic visa, which would be sent to them after they have made payments. What simply means is they will apply online. They will then submit the documentation that are necessary, download their passports and their itineraries, and then the system will do background checks and so on until the approval is granted. Approval, when it's granted, they will be sending approval and say, please pay for your visa, it is approved.
Okay.
Only after payment, they get the electronic visa.
Okay. So if I just want to ensure that I understand very well the distinction between visa on arrival, we are talking about visa on arrival, and electronic visa application. So there is a distinction between the two. What is the difference between the two for somebody that is watching, maybe that is interested to know?
There's not much of a difference. The difference is only that when you arrive with the electronic visa, your time at the airport is shorter.
Right.
But when you come without a visa, you will queue up to apply for the visa, queue up to wait for the assessment of your application to be done.
Upon arrival.
Yeah, upon arrival, and that could make to take up some of your time.
It's time consuming.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
and therefore we encourage people that are affected, or from the 33 countries plus the 57 countries that were already on the visa upon arrival to make use of this platform because it will save them time.
Okay. All right, now Namibia, if you are just tuning in, you are watching your information sharing session for the OMAs, which means for the offices, ministries, and agencies. And for this morning's episode, I am your host, Hileni Felepe-Samunyela, and as earlier mentioned, I am joined in the studio by the Chief of Immigration, Mr. Nehemiah Ngishekwa, and he's here to educate us and to just highlight the importance of the visa on arrival as was launched yesterday. Now, Namibia, you too can be part of this discussion by following this conversation on our social media platforms, where we are currently streaming this show live. On Facebook, we are at Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, or alternatively, you can also stream us live on our YouTube channel, and our handle there is MICT Namibia. I'm keen to hear from you as to what questions you have for my studio guest this morning, and of course, you will get your feedback from the horse's mouth, the Chief of Immigration in the studio with me this morning. And now, Mr. Ngishekwa, back to our discussion. I'd like to find out from you. You briefly touched on it, but I'm sure that there is more to what you mentioned than there actually is. How does the electronic visa system benefit travelers?
Again, thank you very much. It benefits them because they could do the application from their homes.
Okay.
Using their mobiles or their computers.
Okay.
It's in the convenience of their own sitting rooms. So that really benefits them because they don't have to queue up anywhere.
Okay. All right. And of course, in addition to that, as you've rightfully put, when they arrive here, they don't have to be queuing up anymore now because most of the work is already done.
Indeed, they will still have to queue up, but just to queue up for processing.
For processing only, not for application.
Not for application.
Okay.
Because there are two processes. Let me explain these two processes.
Okay.
When you are arriving and you have no visa, you must apply for a visa first.
All right.
And when the visa is approved, after certain verifications have been made, you can now proceed for processing so that you are allowed entry.
Okay.
Because first you must meet the visa requirements. And then you must meet the entry requirements. These are different processes.
Criteria. Okay.
Yeah, now, when a person has an e-visa, the person will simply go straight to the counter if they have completed their arrival form, and then they are processed.
Okay.
The other one will have to apply. Of course, we have merged the two forms for simplicity. But the process means that an officer will now assess your application, while the other one is pre-assessed, and therefore when you arrive, you are already cleared.
Okay. All right. Now, it helps to now know the distinction between the two. But Mr. Ngishekwa, now, overall, what is the goal for these changes that have been established or implemented?
Pardon me?
The question is, overall, what is then the overall goal for these changes that have been effected in the visa on arrival and then the electronic visa?
The goals, obviously, is one is to make sure that more people are able to come to Namibia, and they don't have to go to our embassies. They can come. They can apply at home, and that also helps decongest some of our services.
Absolutely.
Number one. It also prevents misspellings of names, because as a traveler, you do the input yourself.
Okay.
Thus, you are more likely to be correct than when we copy type from your application.
Indeed.
Again, we are saying that although we give visa on arrival, the people, we collect information from them, because they also require Namibian information when Namibians are traveling to their country. And we want to make sure that the introduction of visa requirement, particularly for the 33 countries, result in reciprocity and it result in fair treatment.
Okay.
We treat their nationals the same way they treat our nationals. And I think for us, Namibians come first.
Absolutely. But also maybe in addition to that, you see there are certain individuals or travelers coming from countries where the Namibian embassy or commission is not established as of yet. So to that effect, when they come here also, it's a smooth process for them because then they don't have to sort the services elsewhere, I believe.
That's exactly the purpose for us to implement this visa policy.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ngishekwa, this was a short briefing, but we have come to the end of it. I'd like to just pause here and pose your question. If, for example, you maybe have anything else you would like to tell the Namibians pertaining to this topic of discussion for this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much, Helene. Namibians, I'm glad some of you have joined in. As Namibians, we need to support government policy. I've heard many comments from people being negative against the introduction of the new policy by government. We can either make our policy work or break it ourselves.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And whatever I want to tell you, the success of what we have introduced so far is that by today morning, 199 applications were already received and approved. There were some rejected. I'm talking about those that are approved.
Approved, right.
And that, if you can put that into dollar terms, in 2 days or a day and a half, we have generated over 300,000 Namibian dollars for the Republic of Namibia.
Okay, that's a good one. I think I would not do justice if I let you go without posting this question, but it's on the cost implications on this visa on arrival. What are the cost implications for the travelers?
Well, the cost implication for travelers, of course, they need to, depending from where they are from.
Right.
Those that are AU members, they pay 1,200 Namibia dollar, which is just about $70 US.
Okay, African Union. Okay.
And non-African Union member, they pay just around 1,600, which is more or less plus minus 90 US dollars.
Yes, okay.
So it's not a huge cost.
Okay.
I think Namibians are paying much more than that when traveling to other countries. I have seen that some that charge in as much as 5,000, as much as 10,000 for Namibians to travel to those countries.
Okay. So again, thank you so much. I'd like to pause here and acknowledge your presence here and you taking time away from your busy schedule and coming to educate the Namibian nation on this particular topic. We appreciate you very much and we wish you all the best in implementing fully this new development.
Thank you for having me and thank you for listening to the Namibian nation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ngishekwa. Well, Namibia, that concludes our briefing for this morning. Please do join us again next time when we bring you another fruitful discussion here at the GIC. From myself, Hileni Fela-Pesamunyela, and the entire GIC production crew, until next time, take care, Namibia.